Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Monday again. Today is, hold on a second. What's today? I think it's the 20, I don't know. I should know, but I can't right now do the math to remember what Friday was, which was the last time you saw me, of course, because I also forgot to mention, for those that may not have caught the announcements beforehand, that I wouldn't see you on Saturday and I wouldn't see you again until Monday, because as most that are probably tuned in for more than the first time already know, I'm taking the weekends throughout the month of August, unless further notice for September up until the fall equinox. But basically it was like my little summer break where I usually am definitely here and present Monday through Saturday, sometimes even on Sunday. At one point in time it was absolutely on Sunday, but then I kind of pulled back to take Sundays off, and I figured a good break or summer fling would be to just take Saturdays off too. So anyway, if you were looking for me on Saturday, that's where I was. Not here. And I won't be here next Saturday either, more than likely. But yeah, I'll let you know how I feel about September beyond that. Okay, but I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I spent the time, I tried to pretty much rest from, coughing up a lung on camera. That was Friday, I think it was. And I'm just about all clear, definitely just about, but certainly much more clear-headed and clear from congestion than I was. But I tried to do as much resting as I possibly could, but I also did some cleaning, did some hair, took some spiritual baths, my son and I, not together, of course. But I kind of waited till the full moon energy cleared out at its height to then do our cleansing. And also, because I wasn't all that well, I just needed some things to clear out before I took that bath, for myself and also for him. But yeah, I did some cleaning, did some cook. Did I cook? A little bit, a little cooking, but definitely nested around the house. I didn't really go anywhere too far over the weekend, which is why I feel pretty good, definitely pretty rested and pretty recovered at this point, thank God. So I hope that you enjoyed your weekend doing whatever it is that you did. And yeah, I'm excited to be here today. So let's see what we got on the bottom. Two of Wands. This is about a plan of action, maybe to expand. A decision that's been made about an investment. Let's see. Ooh. Hold on before I speak too soon. Or is this the plan that was to was intended to achieve a certain outcome, and in this case something material, some type of there was some expected reward or return on a plan. And then we got the Magician card, or there is, I don't know if this is or was type of thing. Let me see. sometimes with the Two of Wands, I mean, the plan obviously has already been established, but what has come of it is the question, that, especially if there was an anticipation for a return with the Page of Wands. It's not the Three of Wands. I'm sorry, with the Ace of Pentacles. It's not the Three of Wands where you have an expectation. However, though, we do have the Four of Wands, which could be an implication that there was a three somewhere in between all that. That's just, maybe the manifestation was so accelerated that there was very little time to contemplate, or this could be something of the future, that a plan that's been set into motion is already materializing in rewards. The Magician feels like an acceleration behind that, or something maybe even that seems supernatural, but it's still very earth-based. So it may even from the outside in, or even for the one in anticipation, seem miraculous, like, oh shoot, you make one decision or one investment, one move, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh snap, I didn't expect for that turnaround to happen so almost instantaneously, or definitely so quickly. But with the Four of Wands, let's see what's behind here. Yee, damn. The four, and then I said that turnaround too. So are we talking about a backfire here of some oh man. See, I'm always trying to give it the high vibe, because that's where I live. But hold on, I'ma see, because we're gonna take this card, and then this card behind the Tower is gonna tell me what I need to know about what we're talking about here. Because we have the Magician, which is manifesting, bringing some material materializing an intention, let's say, because here's the intention. This may even be the investment behind the action. Here is the energy to fuel it. And then here's the Four of Wands, which is also a passion-driven card, but this is some establishment of, it's like a grounded establishment. So it's beyond just the plan. And the intention here is something that has absolutely, or was absolutely, constructed. But then we got the Tower though, and that's the thing that throws a wrench in all the plans. For me, to have the Tower come up so suddenly, what does that mean? So let's just take it and see. Oh, well, then we got the Star. And the sense is peeking out. The Star and the Knight of the King of Pentacles. Alright, so what are we looking at here? Was this a positive plan? It could be. I could say that this sudden occurrence, even with the Tower And then the star with the King of Pentacles, it could just literally be, as I said, like just the acceleration and the magnitude of manifestation that has occurred on account of this modest initiation, maybe even a modest investment. And here we are with Four of Wands, which is a great achievement, you know, something like doubled. Actually, if we go from the 2 to the 4, that somebody's efforts and intentions have actually doubled in return, maybe superseded their vision and their projection by 100%, apparently, you know, of what they had, idealized for themselves. Maybe they were thinking a bit small at the Page of Pentacles, and it could be thinking small, or it could be just literally not accounting for just how powerful the intention or investment that was made truly was in the grand scheme of things. Like, you may have thought you were thinking small, or even taking small baby steps, but lo and behold, it was all the framework needed to achieve great things. And perhaps the shock, again, is that acceleration, the astonishment of the achievement itself, and perhaps maybe even from the outside looking in, or from some observation, which the star typically is. Not that is necessarily celebrity, but it definitely implies that you shine, or someone shines, or someone can't be unnoticed because of the way in which they are operating, because of the frequency that they're operating in, which generally is in the function of destiny, or on your way to it, or aligned with it, doing what you love, doing what you feel called to do, purpose to do, whatever the case may be. It's like a beam of light shines on you, shines through you, and it also makes you attractive for the material advancement of which, again, here, at this point, you may not have had an expectation for much of, or for it to be very fast, a very quick return. But here it's like, bam, the tower hits, and all of a sudden you're rich and famous. That's what this is giving right here. King of Pentacles, star card. Doing something, and I can say doing because it's the Two of Wands, which is action, but doing something that you thought was no big deal, or you thought was small, or modest, or minor. And also get into the Virgo energy with the Magician card, that's Gemini and Virgo. But maybe the habit of it and the magnitude of commitment that was made is what set the foundation for it to really expand and flourish. Maybe even for you to expand and flourish. And also here with the Two of Wands is an implication that something was left behind. So there was a greater choice made, maybe to expand your perspective, perhaps of an old strategy, or how you were, a way of doing things before, a way of seeing your possibilities before. And it seemed like a small shift, like, oh, all right, I'm gonna start doing it this way now. Small change, small fry type of energy, but obviously big is what I'm getting. So much that the disruption here in the tower is the foundation of that. It's like clearing what is clearing the way for, or just circumstantially clears the way for, is this small production, where you may know, on account of the big change that's incurred from the simple investment, you may actually be a long ways from what felt comfortable, and or on your way, if anything, a long ways from what felt comfortable, simple, quaint. As satisfying as it may be, because the Page of Pentacles generally is good news, it's positive, but to advance to the King of Pentacles, that's more money, more problems type of energy, but not really, because it's like wish fulfillment here. It's fulfillment either way, but it's just the idea of the intention of having to manage a small fortune, or maybe a small establishment, a small business, a small idea, a small intention or action, to it completely, blowing up your world, even blowing up your spot of obscurity, perhaps, to now you're on display, or your product is in high demand, you're recognizable, perhaps, on account of, whatever it is that you're doing. Maybe you have more followers or more subscribers than you had to manage before, so now more people are engaging what you're doing, where you were kind of used to, like, not people barely seeing or barely recognizing or noticing, and it's just bigger. And it's like literally is given blow up overnight type of, like, okay, basically overnight success is what it's given. What did I say before? Because that might be part of the title. I know it's early, but, well, I didn't get too far, so maybe I could run it back and remember what I said. Dang. All right. Anyway, I need to keep a little something next to me, like some other readers do. Usually have something nearby that they could just jot down the title real quick, but most of the time I forget to even bring my other phone in here. So anyway, all right, let's see where else this is going. I was a little nervous with that Tower card, I'm not gonna lie, but I think it's more of a good surprise. And with the Tower, is something that definitely does call for adjustment. You have to something you may have to readjust for, or get used to, or shift on account of its occurrence. And overnight success that you didn't see coming, with this guy with the Two of Wands, with his best plan of action and his brightest ambitions and his most expansive perspective, he still may not have been prepared for the advancement that a star energy with the King of Pentacles would bring. That does definitely cause for, imagine, like, going from, like I said, not many people knowing what you're doing, or not having much to answer for, or much to manage, to suddenly having an enterprise, or having 100+ K followers or subscribers, and literally emphasis on the plus, because even that, that's chump change for some people now. But imagine going from one manageable experience to it being something that almost like is out of hand. Like, definitely not really controllable, but in a good way. There still could be cause for adjustment, to realign your goals and your focus, to definitely reaffirm your alignment with your personal integrity, making sure you're just staying true to you and your purpose, and why you're doing what you're doing, and what the intention of impact may be, because sometimes it can get a little hazy when there's so much to manage and so many more variables than there were when you first started, and it was just a simple little passion project turning into now, like, you know, your life legacy perhaps is what we're talking about here. You know, that's amazing. I mean, to me, that's a good tower to have. But just, I guess, begin to brace yourself for readjustments. And I would say to, in light of me saying it's a good tower to have, to keep yourself in the vibration of enthusiasm and grace and gratitude for even the overflow that you may incur, or that, you know, you can foresee, even that you didn't particularly plan for. Because if it's coming to you, then there's a reason. You know, there's some wealth of worthiness that you must have expressed and expelled to be an attractive force for such favor and fortune, whatever it is, however it shows up. So if you keep yourself in grace and gratitude for it all, even what may seem overwhelming or a little bit too much to, you know, manage, can be, you know, like, well, doesn't have to be, because another thing that I learned in momentum education is you choose overwhelm. It's not an absolute. You decide whether or not you absorb the frequency of overwhelm and whether something or anything is too much for you. So if you can choose for it to be so, you can certainly choose for it not to be. And that means that what may seem to feel unmanageable with just a shift of perspective is absolutely so. Or you wouldn't be entrusted with it, whatever it is. So that could be a new house. Again, it could be a new business. It could be a new job. It could be a new partnership or relationship. It could be a windfall of abundance or a new fortune, a new estate, a new position. Emphasis on the new with the Page of Pentacles. It could be some expanded aspect of a purpose that you've already been driven in, that now you pivot in one particular way, and it's like, boom, like accelerated from 0 to 100 out of nowhere, you know. So it could be a talent also, some talent or gift of display, on display, that you would just do for free and for fun, and now all of a sudden somebody is entertained or interested in it. That can be nerve-wracking, to go from a small, intimate audience to a stadium, you know? So anyway, let's keep going, but it's pretty dope, pretty dope, pretty dope. All right. Let's turn over now. Wow. Wow. Got the queen bee herself, more or less, because it's not, you know. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is the queen bee. It definitely is. The Empress card. How do I want to do this today? Do we want to take a second? Yeah, let's do it. Let's clarify. Oh man, what's this Four of Cups about? I don't sense that that's your energy, or whomever can relate to this message. I don't want the Empress out the frame, even though I would love to be able to get more on the board. But we got, or it could be, you know, your initial, maybe that's why I'm saying what I'm saying, and this is a big warning or a heads up, I guess I should say, because what you don't want to do is be blocking opportunities and blessings to advance on account of fear of the acceleration and the velocity of your success, and what you just don't think you might be prepared for, even though you obviously quite are. So if you're at sitting in the Empress position in any way, shape, and form, that's like optimum creativity, confidence, attractiveness, beauty, definitely a leader, you know, and a nurturer. Someone that has proven results of success in some way, shape, or form. I mean, that could be in how you take care of your home and your children. You know, again, the things that you think are just small, modest, simple, that don't even mean much. Maybe even things that you feel like are just your reasonable service or what you're supposed to do. Like nothing that even necessarily requires a pat on the back or accolades, let alone any type of reward or recognition, you know. But maybe you're just that dynamic of a woman, or dynamic of a mother, or dynamic of a wife. And what if, you know, you simply start sharing some of your stories or some of your best bets and tips and tricks? I mean, hell, there's plenty of evidence for how that could go well for you just on this platform alone, where people just share the simplest things about their lives and their channels skyrocket to ridiculous numbers, and you wouldn't need the people don't even really believe usually that many people care about them showing them resetting their home on a Sunday. You know what I mean? But there are some people that I tap into to see such things, not so much about the reset, but some things, definitely home decor or makeover type stuff and things like that I love personally. What else? Even just like family content of doing things with your children, having little adventures and vlogging just like your everyday life. You'd be surprised how entertaining and how captivating that could be. So it may be something where you could go from being a spectator, a viewer, even a subscriber of such content that inspires you to now start your own. And here you are, overnight success, as I said. And now it's kind of like, you know, it could incite a response in two of many directions. You could dive straight in and, you know, almost head first and go for it. You know what I mean? Like, just take it and run with it and build upon it, even in a small, steady way. Doesn't you just because the success is accelerated or escalated quickly doesn't mean that there must be a reason I need to say that. Doesn't mean that you have to feel an anxiety to match that velocity. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that could also be a cause for resistance, when you feel like, oh man, now I got the success and what do I do? How do I keep up with it? Now I got to post multiple times a week and I got to make sure that I'm doing doing more of whatever it is that got me recognized, like whatever your viral post was or whatever the product was. You could almost pigeonhole yourself into that flow for the purpose of, you know, maintaining that level of success, when, as I said before, Make sure you're staying in integrity with that star energy and not doing anything for, particularly for, or I should say exclusively for a material return, even if that is in the form of engagement or approval, you know what I mean, or subscribers. It's more than just money and material, of course. Like, you're the Empress for a reason. It's important to stay connected to the identity of what it means to be the Empress, which is unlimited creativity and what's the word, like where you don't necessarily unapologetic, I'll say, but where you're also not answering to anyone else's like expectation, or, you know, like the Empress is the top female, you know, the most powerful feminine energy in the deck, and she sets the rules, she sets the standard, and she follows her own creative instincts in alignment with what is integral to her kingdom, whatever that kingdom may be. So again, this Four of Cups could be the knee-jerk reaction to almost want to reject your success, or reject this, reject maybe even the responsibility that is attached to it, or what you may perceive to be a heightened responsibility attached to it, or to perceive it in such a way where, here it is, you what's the right word, like almost deflect the love, you know, the essence that you had for whatever it is that you're doing, like your why, the thing that engaged you in whatever it is in the first place, or keeps you engaged for the purposes of looking upon other, you know, outside influences, you know, like comparing, contrasting, taking in too much criticism, or too much, you know, like even observing your optics and trying to readjust sheerly on account of that, but there's really no love and no passion in what you do anymore. Or, and when I'm saying it in a very like social media-esque way, because it just makes sense, we're on this platform, but like I said, it could be anything that you pour your heart and soul into, in ways, again, that seem simple, but clearly are evidently major. And, you know, you don't want to take the heart out of it. You don't want to take your heart out of it, more importantly, when it's something that is aligned with your purpose. And it's easy for that to be the case. Wow, here's the passion right here. Still maintaining the boldness, the creativity, the confidence, definitely emphasis on doing it your way with the Queen of Wands. Like I said, like setting the trend, you establishing a standard, even establishing a goal, you know, or make an aspiration of yourself to evolve into, but it never really being deferred to someone else to set. This is an energy with the Empress and the Queen of Wands, is where you would almost reject any outside influences. I mean, with wisdom, of course, because even the Empress would have a counsel, but that the final say, the last word and intention is left up to you. And that is not so impressionable or delicately influenced by what other people think, or what the specs and the optics may be. Like, it's always going to be very uniquely driven, you know. Yeah, something about that here. And then it could also just be, I ain't gonna touch on that. We're gonna try to keep that energy out of it unless it pops up, but let's see. Oh, okay, we got the Three of Cups. It's a celebration. In some way, shape, or form. There's something to be, oh, the achievement, whatever this achievement is celebration worthy. Congratulations are in order, so to speak. Wow. Wow, okay. With the Lovers. Now this is either some love in the air, a new relationship that's pretty serious. That it could also be something like that, like I said, like you know, it starts off simple, or maybe you have been simply investing in yourself for the purposes of manifesting partnership and relationship, union, commitment, advanced commitment at that, with the Lovers here. That could be you having put in a great deal of work on yourself to ultimately like render yourself available for love, and evolve yourself in the way of partnership to be the partner or the frequency of love that you want to attract. And in those ways that you may have made those steps, maybe to you it seemed like regular stuff, you know what I mean? Like to focus on your life plan or your mission, of how you want to execute your passions with this Two of Wands, to make those small investments in that execution, to, you know, focus in on really like self-improvement, you know, or creating routines and ultimately like crafting a lifestyle that's in alignment with what your vision is. That might have seemed like common sense, like, well, I mean, what else was I supposed to do, you know? But not everybody, especially in the that's so, it's so evolved, man. I love that for whomever, because it means that you had the vision, or could have had the vision, of calling in love and partnership for yourself, but that's not necessarily where your focus wasn't on the partnership itself or even on the partner. It seems very internally focused, you know, like self-centered in all the right ways. And because you took that route, that higher road, that higher perspective, is why perhaps things are rushing in or pouring in the way that they are, which again then disrupts your single little life. Or if this is a partnership that's already, you know, maybe it was something that started off casually, and because you weren't thirsty to try to push it to the brink of long-term commitment prematurely, you still kept yourself grounded in your own identity with your own goals and, you know, all that good stuff. It could be the thing that actually accelerates a partnership as well, to blossom and bloom in some, you know, elevated way that you weren't even necessarily in the market for. You know, maybe you foresaw it happening in another 3, 4, 5 years, something that may happen within 1 or 2, you know what I mean? Or, you know, maybe 4, I don't know, you know. Not so much though, because the Pentacles are really the years. So it could, the Tower could be throwing off your tidy little plan of what you could, you know, your outlook, your modest outlook, to be something that actually picks up. I mean, the Three of Cups is like, that's bridesmaids. You know, the Empress, more or less, is typically a married woman with a great deal of responsibility. The Four of Wands is a home, you know, that is cohabitated. The Lovers is definitely a destined commitment and a union. So your timing might be just I think generally the astonishment with the Tower is that I think we're used to kind of always being behind the time of the divine, where we've been so conditioned for microwave results, but not really having microwave results except for with great consequence on account or some disappointment, right? So that you could have the whirlwind relationship, but it may not last all that long, certainly not to happily ever after. But we've kind of been, you know, settled with, okay, well, I'll set the intention, I'll keep the outlook, I'll keep my hopes high, my faith strong, and keep on investing and believing for all that, you know, I have, you know, that is my wish with that Star card. But I don't really, you don't in your heart of hearts anymore expect for it to happen in a snap, you know. But there's something changing about time, and the acceleration of the work that's already been invested, and now the rewards that are catching up, at least in the 3D, because they've already been so, because you've already spoken and manifested them that way. But the crystallization is what we're not used to, particularly in the form of which, the holistic form of which we most desire, you know? So with that, I think I need to say, again, with this Four of Cups, to be careful not to push things away, because in your mind, you're still conditioned that this can't be it in this package, or this fast, or at this magnitude, or with no blemish, or this easy going, or this accelerated, or somebody so serious, or the business is going this well, or this much money for nothing, you know what I mean? Or this much engagement or influence at my fingertips. But it's like, where it seems like it's a boom, you just blew up type of situation, is really you just now fully integrating with who you were already being behind the scenes, behind closed doors, when nobody was watching, when there was no audience, when the pay was very minimal, when the reward wasn't all that fantastical, you know, when nobody cared, nobody even knew to care, you know, when the prospects seem a bit shady or far and few between at best. And then, you know, boom, all of a sudden, here he comes. And it's like, is this for me? It just might be. But look at this, Two of Pentacles, like, I don't know. Like, is this what I am to accept? Is this what I've been praying for? Is this mine, really and truly? Do I deserve this? These are the considerations and contemplations that could come with such an astounding, I don't know, I don't even know what to call it, like, realization of fulfillment. And I mean realization in the sense of it literally happening in the three-dimensional form, not something you just idolize or idealize anymore. Like, it is. Then what? You've been so used to preparing for it and believing for it. What happens when it's right in front of your face? That's the question right there. Time will tell, I suppose. Time will tell. I feel like a good gauge of, I think that was the King of Pentacles again, yep. A good gauge of alignment, and considering, you know, that alignment is how it, let's see, like how it comes in and supports what you've already established for yourself. Like, does it challenge it here, like with this Knight of Swords, like almost push you back against the grain or back into time, whether that be in mindset, whether that be in habits? And, you know, because consider, like, you've been cultivating hella habits in this high frequency energy and identity. What it is that you're engaging, does it disrupt that in a way that is detrimental to who you've become and who you want to continue to cultivate? Or does it add value? Does it support it? Does it make it that much easier to achieve? Like, the Four of Wands is balance and harmony. That's not somebody coming in and just completely tossing your life upside down. Like, you don't work out no more. You don't, I mean, this is all a matter of your choice, but just consider what you feel incited to do on account of the connection, the opportunity, the new place, the new space, the new money, the new channel, the new recognition, whatever it is that is life-changing in a sense. You can kind of gauge that frequency with the disruption and disturbance that it causes to the best of who you're cultivating yourself to be. Now, to make readjustments to kind of meet the demands of whatever the newness is in a way that adds value to you, I mean, that just comes along with growing and evolving. But I'm talking about in all the detrimental ways, maybe even diabolical ways, where now you find, like I said, you don't even want to post anymore. You don't want to, you don't take care of yourself. You don't have the same level of self-care that you used to. You're not really investing in your passions and in your visions as much. Maybe you're investing in someone else's or something else, but you're straying away from the core of your destined, you know, of your desires, you know, and off the beaten path of your destiny. Those are the signals that may cause for a pause and reconsideration. Like, okay, is this adding value or is this taking away? Like, because generally speaking, with the Four of Wands and the Lovers, and even with the Three of Cups, it should be added value. It should be added support, added love, added passion, you know, encouragement, ambition, drive, like to be with someone that sees enough of the potential in you and the prospect of your visions to want to get behind it the best way they can, or cover you while you pursue, or support you in the best way they, you know how to, but definitely not to move against. Yeah, like, look, exactly, like, you know, if it's not in this frequency of unconditional love, it's moving away from that, even on this board, then it's an easy determination to make, in my opinion. If you're finding yourself, you know, your well of love, attention, peace, satisfaction, you know, the force fuel of who you are, what drives you to be who you are and do what you do and want to have what you desire to have, you feel that drying up and depleting, then you know what time it is. And it would be in your best interest to make a quick adjustment, not to deny the obvious, not to ignore the handwriting on the wall or the sensibility of your own nature, which would probably speak to you first before anything. Like just how it feels to be with someone versus now what you may even know, or to do a thing or not do a thing versus what it was before, And again, it's not just a matter of wanting to hold on to every aspect of what was, because the point here with the Tower is that some things will definitely change and will require an adjustment. But does it absolutely have to be sacrificial? And how much so is the question. Because to me, especially if we're talking about partnership here, there's a stark difference to me between sacrifice and submission, even unto the divine for me. Everybody doesn't share that sentiment religiously or spiritually, but when it's a submission, it's not really a sacrifice. It's not a force. I'm not doing anything with my arm tied behind my back. I'm doing it because of my commitment and devotion to what I revere, whether it is the love of the divine, whether it is the standard of love that I have established for myself, whether it's the love of my family, whether it's the love of my passion and my purpose, my partner, whatever it is, it's gotta be in alignment with that before I submit. And questionable if I'm finding myself in a surrender posture, because that means that I'm putting myself on the stake in a way that is not harmonious and balanced, because the sacrifice more or less is you giving much more of yourself with very little return or resonance of balance. There's no expectation for it, as a matter of fact. But me personally, I just don't think that's how the divine works. I mean, just universally speaking, there is balance. The universe works overtime to maintain and regenerate and recreate balance. So I feel like when there is a misalignment, there may be a cause for a readjustment, and again, maybe even resubmission or recommitment or devotion. But sacrifice is a tough word. That's one of those words that I'm still actively reconditioning my senses, my spirit out of, to some degree, Just exactly, justice, balance, fair, equal, give and take, cause and effect. Case in point, and I feel like confirmation, every action has an equal and opposite reaction type of energy. And that's not just a natural law, that's a spiritual law, exemplified every single day, as above, so below, as within, so without. So let's see. A couple more and I think we'll head on out. The 10 of Wands, this is the end of what? Self-sacrifice. 10 of Swords, sorry. The end of sacrifice, the end of betrayal, even betraying yourself. Certainly of putting yourself in a position to be betrayed. It's the end of that cycle for many that resonate with it anyway. Let's see what's on the bottom. Wow, and there we had the King of Pentacles in the beginning and even through the middle, and now we got the Queen of Pentacles. Knowing your worth and value, and knowing, being so grounded to know what's worth, again, submitting to, and what's not. The Queen of Pentacles knows how to manage her resources, even her own energetic resources, her talent, her time, her gifts, her knowledge, her expertise, knows how much of herself to give to her purpose, her positions in life, knows that she is the essence of everything that she invests in, and that is something to be truly protected and reverenced. You know, when you have that level of esteem for yourself, it kind of makes it hard to put yourself in situations where you could be sacrificed or betrayed, even unto your own self. Like, it's really hard for you to betray yourself unless you're going against what you know best. And it's hard for other energies to really make that level of detrimental impact to you, because you're not taking no wooden nickels at the Queen of Pentacles. Not a true Queen of Pentacles. You're not giving too much time and energy to things that are beneath you. You just don't have it to give. You don't see the value. If it's not in alignment with your purpose, with your integrity, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And every, in spirit and in truth type of, like, simply put, it's just literally, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Here with the Ace of Cups, if there's no alignment with that frequency, it's going to be a no thank you for you, or no thank you for those that can resonate with that energy. And that also, with everything else that we've kind of touched on here, goes for relationships. It goes for platforms. Like, it doesn't matter if everybody's getting hella views and the big checks on YouTube because they're talking about X, Y, and Z. If that's not your come from, if that's not your ministry, literally, you're fine where you are. You're gonna keep focused on what's in alignment in your wheelhouse. If it's a partnership that maybe seem like it would be ideal on the surface, but then somewhere down the line proves otherwise, or runs its course in a way that falls out of sync with where you're spiritually being guided, you don't have a problem cutting ties, amicably and gracefully. You're also not going to take every contract, every investment that comes across your desk or your inbox, because all money is not good money. So it's like all ranges of possibilities and propositions are covered in the highest frequency, especially when they're gauged by love. And certainly when you also reverence your personal peace. There couldn't be a deal too tempting to sacrifice those commodities for you. So as long as that's your foundation, literally that's how you're grounded, you can handle anything coming your way. Fast paced, in abundance and exuberance, accelerated, and trickles, and then speeds up and then slows down. Like, you can handle every ebb and flow as long as you are connected to who you are, why you're doing what you're doing, and what you're purposeful to project and promote with your precious energy. Period. With this Devil card, it's just the temptation to do what? To be controlled and possessed by frequencies that would want to project to you that there's another way, that maybe you're out of alignment, out of sync, that would want to have and that haven't invested influence, or I should say would want to have. Look, my voice is even changing that fast. Hadn't been doing that the whole time till this energy came up, but that would want to hold a stake in your prosperity by way of influence. And that influence could come through fear, through guilt, through shame, like this is what you should be doing, or this is what everybody else is doing, or you're not doing enough of this. And if you would sacrifice more of your family time, then maybe you could make a couple more dollars, or you could create more content. If you miss out on that hobby, or whatever it is that ultimately does bring you love and joy and keeps you fulfilled, this is the temptation to want to be so three-dimensionally focused that you lose sight of the spiritual aspect in the big picture. All you see is the little coin, and then it gets smaller and smaller because the value depletes the more you sacrifice the essence of you. And this is the energy here, like even in example from the patriarchal counterpart compared to us leading with the Empress, to want to take control and be so overproductive. And in this case, this is about definitely control, domination, overproductivity, obsession with possession, hyper-focused, even a bit narcissistic, with the devil and the emperor, like certainly self-centered to the utmost, but not in any productive way, like to the point where you get so tunnel visioned that you don't even see how you're kind of sacrificing the best of yourself, maybe even selling your soul for morsels, you know what I mean, in the grand scheme of things. But this is like, it's the last two cards, and I love that it is, because I'm ready to wrap up anyway, that the contrast of this energy is of all the energy that I've spoken about is like so menial, in the grand scheme of this message, that it's just food for thought. It's just something to be mindful of, and to know that nobody is immune or exempt to the darkest of temptations to just ultimately do what? Sacrifice yourself, to betray your highest value, to sell yourself short, to take less than what you're absolutely worth, to see yourself as less valuable than you are, and so therefore to settle for less. But, and all in the name of procuring control, which we know is a temptation for false security. But in terms of all, and this could be the response to that acceleration, to want to like grab the wheel again, and that temptation to steer it exactly where you feel most safe. But you can still go with the flow and let the spirit lead and guide you. Let love truly fuel you and be more protected than knowing every angle, every roadway, every bump in the road ahead, every obstacle, if there even is any. Sometimes even the anticipation of that is this frequency here. But really just to have the brightest outlook in the plan that you have established for yourself, and let spirit co-create with you to bring out the best, even to bring out the best in you, to perform and step into a power that you may really just have never known you possessed, except for, up until now, when you actually get to be activated or be initiated and activated in it. It's like spirit is like, let me show you how amazing you are. This is all that you're worthy of. This is all that you have called in, as a matter of fact. So certainly if you have the perception and the outlook to manifest it, you got the stuff that you need. to maintain and even magnify it. I believe in you. This is a great message. I totally believe in you. If you resonate with this, I hope that you believe in you as much as the divine does. So whatever it is, whatever higher that it is that you aspire to, even if it's just your higher self, your most supreme nature, believes in all that you already are. And I was going to say that you have the potential to be, but this is an integration of identity in the greatest and smallest way that you can conceive of. Recognizing that there really is nothing small, as we've established, that even this Page of Pentacles isn't what it appears to be on sight, and certainly neither are you. You're more than a mere mortal, apparently. You're a star. So go ahead and shine then, sis, bro. Thank you for listening and watching. I really appreciate you being here. Looking forward to the week ahead. God bless, Godspeed. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.